Hi there, so welcome back to day 3 of me making this track. Yeah, I'm kind of still liking what I've got so far. It's not blowing me away, but I think it's got some potential, so I'm going to keep working with it. Still not entirely 100% convinced I'm happy with the TB part, but I'm going to stick with it for now, and it may sort of change slightly as I develop it on a little bit. So I've pretty much got all the parts that are going to go in the song. I wanted this to be fairly minimal. I didn't want to have too many parts in it. And I'm very guilty of putting too much stuff in quite a bit at the time in my tracks. So we're going to have the system one playing the, whatever it's playing, that bass kind of pad sound. We're going to have an arpeggiator from the Minilog. We're going to have the TB3 kind of main hook line. I did actually just mess about earlier today without recording it with an extra part from the TB3, which I think I'm going to include in there somewhere as well. And then I've been just messing about with a bit of percussion from the Electribe. So I'm going to start to move into the arrangement part a little bit more now. Just bear with me a second. I'll sort of show you how once I've got my initial ideas down, how I then kind of move into the arrangement. So I'm going to switch over to the screen view for this. So most of this video is going to be on the screen view. Now what I'm actually going to do for recording this, or for arranging this, is I'm not going to use the sounds from the TR8. I love the TR8 for playing live. Generally I don't record it very much. I have done in the past. For some reason I actually quite like the 808 drum rack that comes with Ableton Live, so I tend to use that, but I use a different thing for the kick drum. And what I like to do with my drums is I have them all separated, so I'll have a separate track for each part of the drum kit, so I can mix it a little bit easier. So I'm going to start just with, I think this is going to start this track with the kick and the offbeat hi-hat, and I use, generally for my kicks, I use this, which is the Nicky Romero kick VST, which is really cool because you can tune your kicks very easily, which I'm going to just do here to A sharp, just so they sit nicely in the mix. And this, I have this basically, I've messed about with this, and I've got this set up as a template with my sort of favorite kick sound in it, this analog kick. And I'm going to take the click down because I want this kick to be quite soft on this. I don't want to have a lot of kind of clicky noise in it. So I'm going to just start with the kick. Let's just rename this track. And I was going to stick a little MIDI clip in there. And always on C3. Let's get that down to quarter note grid. And what have I got in there? 2 bars. Right, let's just loop that round for a second. Now, the problem I've got at the moment is every time I press play, everything's going to start playing. So I was going to mute some stuff, mute the Electribe, mute the Minilog, mute the TR8. Okay, I've had a weird thing actually today. Every time I put the computer on the MX1, all the channels start flashing, and all the filters go weird, which is why I couldn't work out yesterday why my microphone was weird on the video I did, and it was all like filtered out. So that's strange. I don't know why, but anyway, that's not your problem. It's my problem. Right, just going to turn my volume up a bit. Okay, so there we have that kick. I'm going to actually take the click down a little bit more on that. So about that. And I'm actually going to put some reverb on. You can see I've just got an EQ on here as well, just taking out that bottom end, and I usually have a little bit of a dip in there. It just stops it getting too low, and sort of muddying up the mix and distorting. Now this is something I wouldn't not normally do, but I'm going to put some reverb, and I'm using this on the send and return. So my send is this reverb here. Just basically I just have it set up like that, and we're going to send a bit of that. actually going to make that reverb a little bit longer. In fact, what I might actually try with that is a reverb direct on the kick track. I have got loads of plugins. What other reverbs have we got on here? Because I perhaps use a different one for a change. I've got all the filter ones. I can never remember. I hardly ever use these. I should do because they're awesome. I can for the life of me never remember what the flipping reverb one is. Oh, that's it. Right. Okay. For now, just to keep things moving along, let's just use the Ableton one. I might change this later, but just to get us going a bit. That'll do for that. Don't want it to, but I want it to have kind of like a dark sort of feel to it, which I like with reverb. So that'll do for now. Obviously, I'm going to change this when I get onto the actual mix into the headphones, and because I'm very naughty, I always mix with headphones. But hey, you know, it works for me. Right. So I'm going to stick in the old 808 drum rack, and we'll start with the hi-hat. Come on. I'm going to call this OH for open hi-hat. Always good habit to get into labelling your tracks as soon as you put them in. We'll stick again 2-bar MIDI clip in there. The kick's going to get really annoying soon. Right. Where's my hi-hat? What I tend to do as well, again, I'll probably get shouted at for doing this, I prefer to mix as I go along, rather than get all the arrangement done. I'll stop that for a second. Rather than get all the arrangement done and then do the mix at the end, because I find by that stage I flipping hate hearing the song. So what I've got in the habit of doing is mixing as I go along, which actually saves quite a bit of time. So EQ 8 goes on every track. So for the hi-hat, we don't need any of this down here, so I'm going to shelf all of that off. Even though you can't really hear it, on every track I'll do this, and it just stops the mix from getting too muddy. That's cool. Right, I'll have a little bit of delay on that. Nice. And a bit of reverb. And I'm going to pan that very slightly over to the left. Being a drummer, I always pan my drums from the drummer's point of view, so I'll always have the hi-hats kind of over on the left. Not fully on the left, but just a little bit, because that's where it would normally be when I'm playing. Take it over a bit more there. Right. Okay. Let's save it. Just checking I did press record on the camera. Hold on. I did. Obviously I did. Well, obviously you know I did. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching it, even though most of this is on the screen anyway. So that camera's not you. I'll shut up. Right, I'm going off on one. Right, so I think I'm going to start it like that, and I'm going to probably put I might have a little sort of percussion-y riff going in. So I'm just going to duplicate this, that drum rack, and we'll call this, I'll just call it perk for now. Get rid of those notes. I might not necessarily use these sounds, but let's have a little bit of that in there. Okay, I've already got the delay from that. Okay, so I'm going to stick this over to the right a bit. Might even go a bit more delay on that. Okay. Right, let's extend this out a bit. So I think I'm going to start the track. In fact, I'm going to start with everything for now. Again, it's got to change a million times before we do it. It's going to have an 8-bar. And I might put a little tom blue note, I don't want to do that. Duplicate that. Something weird. That's why, because I got the flipping EQ on. Right, I've got to remember when you, got to remember when you do that. When you do copy tracks across, you got to remember to change your EQ. I don't want to change my EQ on my cushion. Let's have a little bit more low ending on. I'm going to take a bit of the top out on that. Start it like that. Okay, I'm going to have 8 bars of that. bring the what we'll do next then is we'll bring in the TB03, which is actually an 8-bar section anyway. And what I'll do to start with is because eventually I will record obviously the audio of this, but I will just mess about with the controls live. So we're going to start with it quite with a lot of the controls down, so it's not a lot of so it's got a subtle sort of sound to start off with. What's the routing for that? I think it's there. Okay, for some reason we've got no. Okay, that's playing. That's why. I'll go back to arrangement, Muppet. Okay, so again, you know, these things happen. Because I'd taken a clip, I'd gone back to the clips view, and they've taken that track was still in the clips launchy view. So you got to click that little thing wherever it's gone to get it back to arrangement view. Right. So let's just have a listen to that from the beginning. So I think 8 bars, that's probably a bit too long, but consolidate all of that to clips. Right, we can duplicate that again. There's another those next 8 bars across. Yeah, I'd say I might bring something else in on this first bit. Eventually, we'll see. Right, so I might even go 16 bars of that, and then probably start to bring the system one in because that's a 16 bar section. Excuse me. Okay, so I kind of want that to probably fade in a bit. So the beauty of this is, I think what I may do actually is bring that in there, but because I've got the controls, I can control the hardware from here. I'm basically just going to bring that in, I think, with that filter which I can control and record automation off push. Where is the filter? System one. God knows. There. It's going to be on one of these banks. 64. Filter. Nope. Right, I think. I have got the control on here. I don't want that to get up to start with till anything kind of higher than that, which is about 67. So I'm going to just write this in. So just purely automate it from there, and that should start to gradually fade in. So yeah, I'm going to probably, what I'll do with the TB03 is when I've got the arrangement done, I will record that live, and because I could automate all these, but I prefer just to do that by hand. Yeah, just watch out for the thing I did. You may have noticed when I copied across the System 1, because if this little padlock's off, you probably know this, but if I copy that across, what happens is it copies the automation as well. But if you do that, it locks the automation where it is, so you can copy it across without, which is a useful little tip if you didn't know that. Okay, so I mean, you know, straight away we're like a minute and a half into the song. How long's this video? Okay, 23 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this one a bit shorter than the others, down to about half an hour, because then I'll do it in this arrangement in bits. Right, let's have a listen from the beginning, and actually I'm going to just chop this down. I'm going to get rid of 4 bars of that. So I'm going to go edit, delete time, and then it'll zip it all back to the beginning. Let's get my loop breaks back out. All right. Okay, now you can see when that's playing, these are going crazy. I'm assuming it's picking up some MIDI from somewhere, so we don't need any MIDI in on this. So make sure all of these have got no MIDI input, otherwise we can have some weird stuff happening further on down the line. Percussion. Not Tom. I'll just get rid of all that MIDI, because there's a hell of a lot of MIDI flying about. Right, let's try again. That's better. Let's turn the decay down a little bit. Probably did that'll probably fade in, I think, that TB when I've recorded the audio of it. Okay, so just tuning that so it sort of fits in. Oh, yes, pretty cool. So I'm really subtle in the background there. More for today. I'm going to bring that mini log in, probably there. Duplicate these across. 16 bars. Yeah. All right. Let's do it that way. Okay, that's taking shape. I quite like that actually. When everything's playing together, it sounded all right. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think it's a pile of crap, then tell me and I'll restart it. But you know, if one person likes it, I'll carry on with it. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for now. So again, don't want these videos to be too long each time with me warbling on for hours. So thanks for watching on this one. We'll continue with the arrangement a bit more on the next one. Okay, cheers, bye.